Hey, everybody. Welcome to Everything Philly podcast, your platform for information and entertainment, as well as hitting some hard topics. I'm Sharice,
All right.
and we have Dirk from Ivy Hill with us again. And we have Shannon joining us, previous guest. And last but not least, our brother, Todd. Welcome again, guys.
8600.
Tonight we're gonna be talking. Tonight we're gonna be talking about everything is not what it seems. So you want to go ahead and get the party started, Rob?
I always gotta be the one to get the party started.
I got something. Y'all think social media is the new TV for kids?
Ah,
Do kids
okay.
watch TV anymore, or everything is on their phone?
Let's get into it.
I think social media is definitely the new TV for kids. It's
Absolutely.
the TV, it's the radio, it's the playground, it's everything.
Do you think what they watching is really happening, or is we being bamboozled for likes and monetary gain for other people?
You know, it's funny you
Combination.
brought that topic up because I'm sitting here and, looking at the Diddy stuff and everything that's going on, like how fast somebody's life can be taken away from them. And I remember me growing up watching TV. Everybody that came on TV that I'm like, oh, I want to be like them when I get old. What, he play ball like that? I want to play ball like that. I need that money he making. Well, he
Yeah,
a comedian like that? Oh, I like that. Everything I seen on TV, I always thought was true. I always thought they was the most fortunate people in the world. Then years go by, it's always something going on, some kind of scandal, or he broke, or he on crack, or he did this, or he a rapist. And it kind of make me think like,
what are we really watching?
what are we really watching? Or can your life really be taken away from you that fast, that easy? What kind of contract is signed for the day that you become famous that everything can be taken away from you at the drop of a dime?
Not not knowing what we getting into. You know how everybody look at. I think everybody look at entertainment as a job and not a business. And that's where a lot of people that don't have no business mentality or business sense or anything get taken advantage of. And that's what we finding out about a poor kid coming from the ghetto that got a talent that he don't even think is a talent. He doing it because he seen somebody else doing it. He think he could do it better. Then somebody come off from $40,000 and shoot, you imagine me 18, somebody offering $40,000. I thought that was 4 million. Especially you bringing in tens.
Being an educator, I'm also gonna say a lot of the downfall comes from lack of education.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
definitely.
not understanding. They don't read the contracts. They don't have the right person on their side to break things down and explain about that $40,000 and how you got to
Yeah,
pay it back, and then some if you don't meet the
criteria.
requirements, the criteria.
I
Mhm.
think it's more so the focus on being black. Like black come with such a negative history that every little thing that you don't have that you get is amazing to you, that you don't even care about contracts. You don't care about what comes along with it. You're just so happy to be able to get out of the projects or be one step ahead of your neighbor.
Yep.
It's like, do
You
you
made
really
it.
even care about a contract? Or do you just care about somebody saying, I'm gonna give you $40,000, something that nobody in your family never had. Like nobody in your family ever had a bank account of $40,000, and you're gonna be the first one to have $40,000 cash money in your hand to do whatever you want with. Do you really care about a contract?
No, I think you asked most of the rappers that's from back then that finally accepted what happened to them now said, it's my fault that I didn't know the business and I didn't read a contract. And they all take their words back and you'll see them say, no, it was my fault. I should have knew the business. And now that I know the business, you got to know what you signing. I don't want to let them give me a manager. I don't want to let them give me a lawyer. I followed their lead because they had the money, not realizing they're not really in line with me because I didn't realize that I'm a business. So you about to take my company from me. That's really what's happening with some of these contracts. My company is being signed over to another company, and I'm out here doing all the work, and don't own none of my property.
Yeah, no
I
problem.
feel like the information is so accessible now that it should be almost common sense to like take your time and read through things and get the appropriate representation, because we see so many people who have been bamboozled. I feel like at this point in the game, people should know better. And I know
Very
that those
true.
numbers from someone who's never seen that type of money before sounds good. However, you still see how people rise and fall just from not knowing.
Yeah, that's
Well,
true. But at the same time, like you gotta think about if someone that's giving you that money, if someone that's giving you that contract, and you know what that person is doing. You got one chance and one chance only. You take it now, or I'll go out down the street and find me another black guy that's just as good as you.
Yeah.
Then you lose
Exactly.
that opportunity.
that's
And
true.
Exactly.
the thought of losing that money is scary because it took you so hard to get that one person to have interest in you.
But now we live in such a microwave society. Everybody wants stuff so instantly. Uh, you talk about education and people needing education. They're not worried about it because they want it so fast.
Mhm.
Because like us, they have everything. They have all the information right there at their hands. But because of the microwave society we live in now, everyone wants stuff so fast.
We changed the way we teach because it's a microwave society. Is that you literally you don't teach in the way that you used to teach, because why would you study history and have a kid memorize dates in history when literally they could find it on their phone faster than you could
You can
actually
teach 'em.
study it, which is crazy. Almost literally anything they can do literally as fast on their phone, which then leads them more to their phone and more to the things that are on their phone and more to the social media and those sorts of things that are on their phone. I had a student do a science experiment, a research study on the effect of social media on young ladies' self-esteem, and she like interviewed them basically. How many hours do you spend on social media? What does your feed look like? What is your algorithm type thing? What do you watch more of? Is it more beauty things? Is it positive things? Is it sports things and that sort of thing? And you look at her results. Is that it correlated to? Is it the more they watch things that have to do with either sort of ratchetness or beauty or health, and is the lower that they thought of their own self-esteem as compared to what they were watching on for everybody else. It's for some reason they think that all of that is what's actually happening. People post, they don't realize people post their absolute best version of themselves at every point in time, not every other thing that happens, and they compare that to where they are.
Paste and
Comparing
copy.
it to other people. They compare themselves to other people. So if they don't see themselves looking like somebody else, they're gonna keep trying to be like somebody
They don't
else.
realize that's not even a real
Yeah.
like them.
So
And that's because they don't know who they are. They haven't identified within themselves. They have no clue who they are. So they try to emulate, or they try to they use social media as their guide and as their criteria. I taught a lesson last year to my kids about everything on social media is not what it seems. And this was even before the AI. It was just about like cutting and pasting and doing the Photoshop. And some of the kids were amazed because they really didn't know that these things were Photoshop until I started showing them videos of how things are Photoshop. Like this girl saying she's living her best life in Paris. And we showed how it was Photoshop. She's home. And they couldn't believe it because they were just so caught up in if it's on social media, and especially if it got all the likes and all the views, then it's verified.
It's true. And now that you say AI, you think AI gonna make it worse?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Intensify it.
It's going to
10
make it
times
worse.
fold,
It's going to
without
intensify
question.
it to a whole nother level because like AI is the closest to real that we've come
Ever
to in
seen,
a long
yeah.
time. Yeah.
It's crazy because my whole YouTube feed is full of AI about Diddy, and you pull it, it's really the same things just collaged together and pull. You could just see the information and like, I remember that. That was in the 90s. I remember that. But they'll make it seem like it happened yesterday.
When you fill out resumes online now, they're asking if you want AI to be a part of your job search or to fill in things for you to boost your resume
Ooh.
and to
Oh
boost.
yeah. Yep.
They ask you like in black and white.
And that'd be horrible because if the way AI pulling stuff, you might get something that you didn't want online.
Yeah, you
They
have to
just-
opt out of
yeah.
it though. You have to literally check no if you're doing something
Especially
online
with
to opt
some
out
of
of
these
it.
women, woo. some of the pictures I see on online, they going to fill out a job, and they always
So how the question is now
that's
that
dangerous.
that we're comparing the kids to the social media to our world of TV, you have so many people that follow, so many kids that follow celebrities, rappers, or whatever the case may be. So how many of the kids right now in Philadelphia hate um, Meek Mills?
I think probably kids 13 and under might say he ain't the one no more because of the new guys coming out, but physically, the people that his true core fans, they still love him. He just got his name in something that it shouldn't be.
Yeah, I don't think it's hit. I don't think the Meek Mills part is impactful yet. I haven't
Yeah.
heard any kids say anything
Yeah, I haven't
negative
too much
about it. Like I still have a young lady that writes in my classroom, support Meek Mill. Like support him or how?
Yeah,
Do Meek Mill for an assignment tonight?
one thing I can say, he very talented, so his talent could get his name back to where he wanted to be and get back to his status as a star and putting out good songs. He one hit, and I think everything that's going on right now.
Really? You think that
If-
you think
Yeah.
that your skills, your talent could override the media, social media?
Especially with AI, because we just seen a video with Meek Mill's in the pool having a conversation with Diddy.
Yeah, that ain't it. Everybody that ain't
But I'm telling you, it looks
Shannon,
so
we cannot
real.
hear you.
I know.
It
No,
looks
he bring
real.
a hit. It just take one hit, and I think he come at all his accusers that's against him.
Okay, so you believe that Diddy could come back too then? Because he's very talented.
Diddy will come back if he win this case.
Diddy not gonna win his case. Diddy going down.
He can't come.
Diddy's going down.
He ain't gonna be able to make a song.
Diddy don't even have no charges against him yet.
Yeah, no charges.
Yeah.
Bill ain't fighting charges. He fighting basically what somebody said about him that really he didn't say. Now he just said Meek Mill was there.
That's the same thing Diddy's doing.
He's saying Diddy was groping him, walking by, smacking him on the butt, walking around naked in front of him, like all types of stuff. So
No.
it's a little different when somebody trying to play with
Who
you.
do they just?
No, it's just the fact that how social media or TV or anything could just ruin your life
Oh, yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, all it take is
Mhm.
somebody to say something that what they call it catch headlines.
Mhm.
Sound like it's true, it's true.
it's just so I just really feel for the kids to have to deal with this the confusion of social media.
For sure.
I just like my daughter sat into one of my uncle's a judge, and she sat into one of his courtrooms, and there was a kid that everybody was saying was the sweetest kid in the world. He was on for murder, shooting a gun, shot a mom sitting on her stoop. And all that they literally did, all that the prosecution did was pull up his Instagram
Mm.
and how he's a shooter. He's a shooter for hire. He's this, he's that. And just literally just pulled it up. Everybody on his side is in tears on how great a kid this is. And he could not be a shooter. I know several kids just dealing with youth that want to pose with a gun. For whatever reason, want to pose with a gun. And he could not be that, but whether he did it or not now,
Yeah.
he was convicted. He was convicted. And all because of that, it could have been literally that he said to somebody that was right next to him, let me hold that. And let me get a picture of me. And I'm going to just say some stuff.
Betrayal, what they call it. Betrayal is 90% of truth. You betray yourself, it's almost true.
You put the mic in his face and he still don't talk.
I don't know why. Can y'all hear me now? I mean, yeah, when you portray something, it's usually true. When you portray like you something, usually it's true about it. Somebody think it's true. That's what he do. If you go around like I'm a shooter, you probably never shot a gun before, but first thing I'm on, he a shooter. He always anything you could portray, most people gonna believe you if they know it's true or not.
So do y'all think the kids today, are they living or are they surviving?
Surviving, definitely.
So much coming at him.
They don't.
So
I don't. They
much
don't know how to
definitely
live. All they know how to do is survive.
So what's going on with the parents? Where so if you're a parent and you know everything that's going on in your city, your community, or whatever the case may be. What is it that the parent is seeking or doing wrong that they can't understand what their child is going through and want help,
He not
need help?
supporting.
I,
He not
I,
supporting.
yeah, they're not. It's several things that I think play a part in it. One, you got a lot of single parent homes,
Yep.
and you have, and these single parents have multiple kids, and the jobs that are paying enough for a single mom to take care of multiple kids are night jobs, night shift differential, or it may require two jobs. So now you got kids at home raising each other, taking care of each other. They have no guidance. So the only guidance they have is the TV, the phones, because there's no parent there. Dads aren't around as often. They're either just not in the picture, or they're locked up or dead, or whatever the case may be. So there's no father figure. Then you have those parents who are very young parents. They're living their lives. They're doing their thing. Grandparents aren't grandparents anymore. They're younger too. They're living their lives. So where is the village? There is no village. There's no structure. There's no village. There's no morals. There's no values. We lost
Kids
it.
raising kids.
And in some ways, unfortunately, especially some of the younger parents, they look at social media as part of their village.
Yeah, they're just in tune with social media. Social media is also like the babysitter.
Yeah, the babysitter.
It keeps the kids occupied while parents do whatever. And then you have that parent who's in denial. Not my baby. Not
I definitely
mine.
know.
Is they in denial or are they more ashamed?
No, they in denial.
They're in denial. I haven't come across a parent that's ashamed, maybe a little embarrassed, but more so they don't become ashamed and embarrassed until reality hits and they can't.
Till they get
They
called on
get
it.
out of the denial stage. They can't deny it no more because it's like right in your face now. Now they're
Uh-huh.
embarrassed. Now they're ashamed.
Yeah.
But for a long, long time, they're in denial. They believe everything their kids are telling them.
They don't
They
wanna
say they were
believe they
going
doing that.
here, and little check-ins here and there. Kids know how to get over. Kids know just enough what to say and what to do to get over on their parents. And if you're not a parent that's like right on top of things and not in denial, then you're gonna fall for the okie doke.
Now, I done heard a parent that was in denial, son wilding out. Everybody like, yo, you get a hold of him, get a hold of him. You might want to send him to a school. Like, he acting out. He 14, robbing people and everything. And she like, no. So he get locked up and go to jail. Everybody like, don't bail him out. Don't bail him out. He need to learn. Like, that could be a good learning lesson. He call home, Mama, no, I gotta come home. They this, they that. So she bail him out. 5 months later, he on house arrest. He bailed out. What he do? He in the house playing with a gun and shoot his friend in the back of the head, kill him.
Mm.
So he done caught a murder charge while fighting a robbery charge. And he 15 years old. But like I said, his mom was, instead of teaching him a lesson or giving some tough love or just really trying to, not being in denial that her son is a problem. He needs some type of attention. He needs some guidance, or he needs something's
Mhm.
going on with him. You need to find out. Instead, she just let him be.
How long ago was
okay,
that?
let him do what he want.
How long ago was that?
This probably was 2 years ago.
So very familiar.
I have a question. I know, some parents may have issues with their parenting, but is some of these problems we're talking about more systematic problems, or is it just parenting problems? Because I mean, I know this stuff happened in other communities,
Mhm.
but it's happening more in our community than some of the other communities that I see.
Well, it's strategically devised that way.
Mm.
You do have the same issues in the counties, but one, they're quiet as kept, and they're not as prevalent in our counties. Like you go in our city, in the counties, they don't have like all the poppy stores. They have their markets and things like that. So in the urban neighborhoods, all we have is poppy stores that take food stamps, that sell nothing but junk. You also in the urban neighborhoods, you have the teen pregnancies and you have the petty crime and the petty theft. But in the county, they got the money to cover it up. They got the money to send Amy away until she have the baby. Or nowadays, it's almost accepted. They're gonna help Amy, the baby, and the baby daddy too. It's a family. So I think in the urban communities, it's systematically devised. And in the county, because they have access to things that we don't have, it's easier to sweep under the rug or easy to cover up better.
Yeah, I definitely done heard about some kids in the county getting pregnant. I'm like, y'all 13, 14 years.
Yeah, and they go
Pregnant
away.
by my best friend. The mom kicked him out and she kicked out. I'm like, y'all in 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
But it's sad because we was that age, but you just don't remember that age.
So-
We was doing it.
So I have a question for you now. So should parents be punished for their child actions?
Depending on what action it is, yes.
Nowadays, I'm gonna agree because I feel like you know what your kid is doing, and if you even if you only have like an idea, a little bit of an inclination, if you're in tune with your kids, if your kid is living with you, you're supposed to
the
be
key.
on point.
But
So,
even if you don't have an idea what your kids go, then that's your fault too.
It
It's your
is.
fault as
Yeah.
well.
I mean, yeah, because you gotta
They
be
they
on
have
point.
to take responsibility.
Yeah.
I think in some ways they have to take responsibility. It's just like, there's parents that get upset when their kid does not come to school. They don't come to school for 7 days, and then the teacher or the school wants to send them to truancy court, and the parent want to be upset that their kid is in truancy court. Well, the schools now call home
Mm-hmm.
when your kid is absent. They leave a message.
Yeah.
and how you don't know that your child's not at school 15 days out of one semester. How do you not know that? And then you upset with the school because they call truancy court on you
Mhm.
because your kid's not there. And again, they look at it as they're upset with the school, but the way that the school is looking at it is your child is missing valuable education. Where are they going to be? Suppose you just let them be home. What's next for them?
And schools are legally liable.
They
Like,
are.
If we don't make
Don't
those phone
report.
calls,
Yes, that's right.
then we're gonna get in trouble.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep.
So I think if parents was penalized, it don't have to be put into a prison or anything like that. Parents was penalized, then I think the kids would start paying more attention to what they do because kids seem to love their parents more than the parents seem to love their kids nowadays.
Oh,
Like, because if you really love your child, you're not going to let your kid be out here at 3:00 in the morning. I'm not even going to let my kid be outside with a black hoodie on, black pants, and black sneakers on because I know the trouble that falls behind it. So if I see my kid, especially my kid is under 15 years old, like, no. You got more clothes than that. Stop making it seem like you don't have no other outfits besides a black hoodie, black pants, and black sneakers.
Some new
You understand what I'm saying? But if you do something to a kid's mom or dad or whatever, just say mom because that's the way it's going nowadays. A kid is ready to kill something over his mom.
Mm-hmm.
So if a kid know his mom may be in danger of being locked up or exposed or whatever, he may slow down what he's doing or try to hide it a little better or whatever it is. But I think he'll take more effort of trying to protect his mom than the mom is doing to protect her kid.
That's 100% true.
Yeah.
I just had an incident at school. A young man, they told me he had a vape. He was high. He swore me up and down, I don't have a vape. I don't know what they're talking about. Then he told me, oh, I flushed it down the toilet. I'm like, okay. Well, now I'm going to have to call your mom, and she's going to have to play the plumber to dig up all the plumbing system to get this vape out of the toilet. He was like, oh, my God, no, please. Okay, I got it. It's right here.
Right? It's like,
But I had to threaten to call his mom. She's going to have to pay all this money to dig up the plumbing, which was a whole lie. But he was like, all right. And he took it right out of his pocket.
Yeah. Think he was outsmart you. Like,
And before that, I'm telling him, you're going to be suspended. I'm going to have to call security. We're going to have to pat you down. And he was like, nope. I flushed it. When I said, Mom, I'm going to have to come pay this money, he was like, all right, took it right out of his pocket.
that's one of my points. It's like, because if you tell a mom that your son is doing this or whatever, she's gonna go to work. No, he's not. You stupid. You're gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna beat you up. I'm gonna shoot you, whatever the case may be.
Yeah,
and want your kid to still stay on that path to a brick wall. But the kid is going to try to change something before his mom run into the brick wall.
yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah.
So the penalty should start being enforced on the parent, so the kid can start acting right.
And I think it's for some of the parents now. So it's just a little like just, and I don't know what it takes, but like I saw a study before that says that middle and upper class children hear the word no more times than mid, lower, and lower class children, which means that their parents don't
No.
deny those lower class. They don't say no to them to stop doing this or to stop doing that. Is it the higher end kids?
You know
They hear
what?
that, and I think it's maybe the frustration or how life is, and the parent is just like, yes, whatever, get out of my face, all that sort of thing. Is just, in a lot of ways, I feel bad for them. It's just really a really difficult situation, and going back to it is mentors and support, and even support for parents and young parents or parents that's struggling with how to deal with their children.
But
that's where all
they
the-
don't want to. They don't want to put it out there that they don't know how to do that, because it is a weakness.
Well,
Yeah.
the thing, like you said, you probably hear no more in a middle class and the upper class, because most middle class knew what it took to become middle class, because they probably wasn't middle. They probably didn't come from middle class or upper class. So when they got there, they like, well, I learned to save money. I learned to do this. Where lower class, they don't want their kid to go without.
Right? They don't want
Well,
them
the
to
kid got it.
feel.
I want my kid to have it. I don't want them talking about my kid. I don't want him to feel like he have it. So they'll do their last, or they'll break themselves, or rob Peter to pay Paul, for their kid to have something that he really don't need, so that he don't feel left out. And I think that's because we already in a situation where we left out. So you just want a parent just want their kid to be happy at all times, and sometimes that's a negative and not a positive. When you want,
I
your
think you
kid to
made a
be
very valid point, but too bad the listeners couldn't hear it. I don't know why he refused talking that
You hear
way.
me with you? I think it's your headphones.
You gotta ask the.
You can't hear nothing. Well, I feel like it's right here. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me put it down somewhere. All right, I was saying.
take Ty right out the picture. He kind of quiet over this episode anyway.
Like I was saying.
No, but I think these are some of the topics that need to be brought up, and it's a shame that it's affecting our communities as bad as it is, and people act like they don't see it, or it's just untalked about. I don't know what's the problem, but if you can't see the results in your community, it's something wrong. It's really something wrong.
Nobody wants to take responsibility. A lot of people do a lot of finger pointing, or they're waiting for someone else to do something. Or
something.
they don't want to initiate on the. They're not. They feel like they're not going to get the support, or I can't do it by myself. Nobody wants to step up to the plate and be a part of the solution. Everyone's waiting on the other.
Be the next person to do it.
They just rolling with the punches.
I have a suggestion
Let's hear
for
it.
another topic for a later date. And thinking about some of your previous podcasts, when you had young people on here, it was a whole lot of insight that was shared. So all of these topics that we're talking about, why don't we try to reach out to some young people and have them come and talk about it to see how they feel about these different topics? Because we can talk all around this and talk about how what we might think they are feeling, but until we get them in a room, I don't think we're really going to know exactly how they feel.
You
I
know,
believe
that's
one of our episodes was talking about that. One of the episodes we had with the kids, they talked about like, what do they need? What could we do?
no. The thing is, I'm working on that, and I've been working on that for months now. But the problem is that kids really don't know how to communicate. They really don't know how to talk. They don't know how to explain themselves or express their
themselves.
emotions. So you have to find someone that's open enough or confident enough within themselves to explain what the problem may be. But those kids probably aren't the ones that's experiencing the difficulties that we want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So when you start getting into trying to find the right kid to come on the show to talk, I don't know if most of them have done enough too much dirt that they don't want to put themselves out there,
Understood.
Mhm.
Understood.
or they don't want to embarrass their parents,
Mhm.
or whatever the case may be, is that you can't find the right people to address the questions that we have. And trust me and believe, I'm taking all suggestions because I would love to bring kids in here because I don't want to be the one to keep assuming or saying they are just so bad and we don't know what to do with them, because they are our future. And
Right.
we really need to hear what they have to say. And that's one of my biggest things. I love to talk to kids to get to understand them instead of assuming what's wrong with them. But you have to have a kid that's open enough to talk about what the problems are, what they see, because if they might think they get on here and tell it on somebody else, because nobody could be a rat. I'm not telling you what's going on in my neighborhood because you might get
Agree.
somebody in trouble.
I agree.
I think
Everything is snitching.
once we start some programs and start building relationships with some of the kids and get that trust factor, I think we'll be able to get to them and have them open up a little bit, because then they'll know we're not trying to set them up. It's not about snitching. We're really listening. And now we're giving you a platform to openly express yourself. So I think once we start building the relationships with some kids, then we'll be able to have a better pick of kids that we would like up
And
here.
that's definitely the process, because you got to think about our system right now. Like, if a kid do something wrong, DHS is getting called.
Yep.
DHS is getting called. They want to take the kid away from their parent. If they old enough or they did something serious enough, then it ain't no help. You going straight to jail. Like, it's all punishment. It's nothing that's to
No
try to.
consequences.
No, it's nothing to help a kid nowadays. Like, if the parent ain't in there trying to pay a couple dollars to get something done to their kid to help them professionally, then everything is a punishment.
State of Pennsylvania charge a kid at 10 years old as an adult. That's
So,
crazy.
It's a process. It's a process. And I think it all come together because we started to get more and more phone calls about things that's going on in the community. We started to get more and more phone calls of people that want to participate into the podcast. So the more that happens, the more people get involved, the more comfortable people will be talking, because there is no judgment. It's only trying to find solutions to help our communities.
Yep, for sure.
So on that note,
I think we're going to make it happen.
we going to make
We
it.
are going to make it happen.
We gonna make it
Yes,
happen.
sir.
So
You only take one kid and they see him and they see how much fun he had. See what you talk about. Then you'll usually get some other kids that want to come and do it too.
all follow the lead. Domino effect.
So all you viewers out there, stay tuned for more information to come with some things that's going to be going on at Dorothy Emanuel Rec Center. If you have some kids that need some sports to be involved in, need some things to do, again, stay tuned. We'll have a list of things for you to be able to offer them.
And it will not be all about sports.
It won't all be
will
just
not.
well, I said sports, but it's not sports. We have the Philly IM program that teaches entrepreneurship skills. We'll have some financial literacy classes,
Photography,
some photography classes,
Toddy G,
some healthy eating classes. We'll have a lot of things going
Some
on.
robotics and some stuff.
Some robotics for those who are into science.
Oh, my man Dirk want to build boats so they could take.
Oh yeah, I build boat. Yeah, I need to bring that there. To build these
First, we
boats,
got to
get out
make
on
sure
this
our
water.
kids know how to swim. Can't build the boat if they don't know how to swim. But
Put,
one
them
thing
on,
at
put
a
a
time.
vest on them.
Yeah,
We put a vest on them, and I hook them back.
So yes, viewers, please stay tuned. We got a lot of good stuff in store. As always, it's been a pleasure. Please don't forget to like.
Subscribe.
Let's try this again.
Yeah, you took that.
Share.
And comment.
Yes. Thank you. It's been real.
Wise word. Thank my uptown people. Y'all came through. Hey, EA, don't feel bad. We still uptown, baby.